There are women who look perfectly fine on the outside. They go to work. They answer messages. They take care of everyone around them. They smile when they're supposed to smile. They keep moving. But inside, they are exhausted. Not because life is necessarily falling apart, but because they are carrying something impossibly heavy. The need to control everything. They lie awake at night replaying conversations, wondering if they said the wrong thing, wondering if someone is upset with them, wondering why a relationship changed, wondering what they could have done differently, trying to predict outcomes, trying to prevent disappointment, trying to manage everyone else's reactions, trying to hold together things that were never theirs to hold. And slowly, without realizing it, they begin losing themselves. Because what you can't control isn't just frustrating, it is exhausting. And if you're constantly trying to control what was never yours to control, it may be quietly destroying your peace. The hardest part is that most women don't even recognize it. They call it caring. They call it being responsible. They call it being prepared. But beneath all of those labels is often something much deeper. Fear. Fear of uncertainty. Fear of rejection. Fear of loss. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of not being chosen. And fear has a way of disguising itself as control, because control feels safer than uncertainty, at least for a moment. If I can predict everything, maybe I won't get hurt. If I can manage everyone's emotions, maybe I won't be abandoned. If I can make everything go according to plan, maybe I'll finally feel safe. But life doesn't work that way, and the nervous system knows it. The human nervous system was never designed to carry the weight of controlling the uncontrollable. When your mind constantly scans for threats, problems, and outcomes, your brain begins operating as if danger is everywhere. Even when you're sitting safely in your own home, even when nothing is actually wrong in this moment, the body doesn't always respond to reality. It responds to perception. And when your perception tells your brain that something must be fixed, controlled, anticipated, or prevented at all times, stress hormones begin flooding the body. One of those hormones is cortisol. Cortisol is not the enemy. In fact, cortisol helps keep us alive. It gives us energy. It helps us respond to challenges. It prepares us to survive. The problem begins when cortisol never gets the signal that the danger has passed. Because for many women, the danger never seems to end. There's always another conversation to analyze, another relationship to worry about, another outcome to predict, another person to understand, another problem to solve. And eventually, the body begins paying the price. Anxiety becomes normal. Overthinking becomes constant. Sleep becomes difficult. Emotional exhaustion becomes familiar. The nervous system remains trapped in survival mode, and many women begin believing something is wrong with them. But often, nothing is wrong with them. They are simply fighting a battle they were never meant to win. The battle against uncertainty. The battle against reality itself. Because no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how prepared you are, no matter how much you care, you cannot control another person's thoughts. You cannot control another person's choices. You cannot control whether someone stays. You cannot control whether someone leaves. You cannot control how others see you. You cannot control every outcome. And trying to do so will drain every ounce of peace from your life. There's an ancient piece of wisdom that has survived for thousands of years, because it speaks directly to the human condition. Some things depend on you, and some things do not. It sounds simple, but truly understanding that idea can change an entire life. Because a wise woman learns to distinguish between what belongs to her and what never did. Her effort belongs to her. Her character belongs to her. Her values belong to her. Her actions belong to her. Her responses belong to her. But other people's opinions do not. Other people's decisions do not. Other people's emotions do not. Other people's behavior does not. And the moment she understands that distinction, something inside her begins to soften. Not because life becomes easier, not because uncertainty disappears, but because she finally stops carrying what was never hers to carry. And that changes everything. Because letting go is not weakness. Letting go is wisdom. Letting go is not giving up. Letting go is returning your energy to where it actually belongs. A woman who spends her life trying to control everyone around her eventually becomes exhausted. A woman who focuses on what she can control becomes powerful because her energy is no longer leaking into impossible battles. She uses that energy to heal, to grow, to create, to rest, to become. She no longer spends her days chasing certainty. She builds trust within herself instead. And trust is far more powerful than control. Think about how much energy you've spent trying to change things that were never yours to change. How many nights have you lost worrying about another person's decisions? How many hours have you spent replaying situations that already happened? How much of your life has been consumed by outcomes that were never truly yours to determine? Perhaps more than you realize. And perhaps today is the day you begin giving that energy back to yourself. Because there is something beautiful that happens when a woman stops trying to control everything. She begins to breathe again. She begins to sleep again. She begins to trust herself again. She begins to experience moments of peace that do not depend on circumstances. And that kind of peace is priceless. Because true peace is not the result of perfect conditions. It is the result of inner stability. It is the result of knowing that even when life feels uncertain, you can still remain grounded. That even when people disappoint you, you can remain whole. That even when outcomes are unclear, you can still move forward with dignity. This is what emotional maturity looks like. Not controlling everything, but learning to remain calm when everything cannot be controlled. And perhaps that is the lesson so many women need today. You do not need to manage every outcome. You do not need to predict every possibility. You do not need to carry everyone else's choices on your shoulders. You only need to focus on what belongs to you, your thoughts, your actions, your values, your character, your peace. Protect your peace. Let go without giving up. Release what was never yours to control. Because the strongest women are not the ones who control everything. They are the ones who know exactly what to release. And when they do, their nervous system finally gets a chance to rest. Their mind becomes quieter. Their heart becomes lighter. And their life becomes their own again. If something you heard today resonated with you, if you are tired of surviving emotionally and ready to live with more peace, clarity, and strength, I invite you to join us here at Sophia Stoica. Every week, we explore feminine wisdom, emotional intelligence, nervous system healing, inner mastery, and the quiet strength that comes from protecting your peace. Because a wise woman understands something most people spend their entire lives learning. Not everything deserves her energy, and not everything was hers to control. Welcome to Sophia Stoica.